Hello everyone, here we are on the chapter 2 of character rigging. Here we have already aligned the mesh, so we're going to start rigging. First of all, let's go to the left view with the L button in the keyboard. Oh well, we have to click in the viewport with the mouse with the left mouse button, and we click in the keyboard the letter L, so we have the left view. If you haven't have this zoom, you are like this, well, you can close up with the scroll mouse and align yourself so we can start to the first part of the rigging process. Now, when we start rigging, the way I do the stuff of the rigging part and the stuff is like, okay, we make few chains. The chain number 1 is going to hold on or carry on the skin information of the rig. The second chain is going to hold, let's see, all the rigging process, so the mesh is going to have the behavior we want when they're controlled by our last chain, that is going to be the CTL chain or the control chain. The control chain is the last one and is where animators are going to animators are going to use to control the mesh of the doll or the character itself. Let's start to go into the creation panel. Let's select the system button and click on bones. And we first of all create, well, in this case our skin and rig chain is going to be a little bit mixed, but we are going to keep it then the most different as possible. So let's begin and see how it's going. The first bone we're going to create is the bone of the hip. I'm going to create it just in front of the mesh so you can see how many bones I'm creating and what is the stuff I'm creating, and then we're going to align it inside the mesh. I use the snap toggle button in this case because we are very lucky that the mesh is very good done, and as you can see it's almost aligned. Well, the place where the human body used to articulate or to make flexion or to flex itself, it's very close or so accurate with the center of the grids. The grids are with these line intersections. So let's start it. First of all, we start with hip. We're going to create a bone here, and we're going to go down here, and then we go and click the right button so the 3ds Max understand that that is the last bone of that chain. We're going to create another one, and I'm going to create it just in front. So, well, I'm not going to create it here because if I create it in the same place, it's going to understand that this bone is going to be the son of this bone too, and I don't want that. So let's go forward. We click at the same height, and we go to the next grid, and then we go to 2 grids more higher. Click with the left button, then we go away and click with the right button. If we click again with the right button, it will turn off this blue button. So you will understood that you cannot create more bones by clicking the mouse with the with the left button. With the pan view, you can click everywhere in the viewport and align your work area. Once we're done with that, we are going to make them more how to say, more beautiful, so you can see them better. You can see the bone chain better. It is right now with width 1 and height 1, so we're going to make width 10 and height 10. And then everything else we leave it in 40. Good. Close this. We're going to align this bone Alt A with this bone. You can use or Alt A or let me click this. We're going to align it only with the position of all the coordinates and pivot to pivot. So we say OK. You can use even this button if you want, and it's open. It's going to give you the same option as to click in the keyboard Alt A. We will select these two bones and we're going to move it to where we want inside the mesh. We're going to search just like the base of the lumbar area, like right here, and we leave it right there. This bone, we're going to now select here the hierarchy panel, and we select the fit pivot only. We select this black bone, and we're gonna move it a little bit backward and leave it just in the base of the hip. Then we select our other bone chain, this one. We can leave it there because we like it there. We select the other bone and we're going to go a little bit down and forward. And then we go to the last bone and we're going to place it in the base of the neck, like here. We didn't have to move them very much because they were almost already very good accurate with the grid, or when we start the position. Is in this case of the mesh. There are other mesh that you need to be working more in how to put them, and if they have a more higher poly, and if the mesh has more verts or it's a higher poly mesh, you'll have to put more bones, so it's gonna be more work. Once we have done this, we can click this button and turn it off, and with Shift G we can turn off the mesh, so now we won't see it. We are ready to work. Let's start with the Rigg mesh, the Rigg chain. The Rigg chain in this case is gonna be only a helper point that we're going to create anywhere, and I'm going to align it just here in the base of this black bone. We say OK, and that's it. We select now these two bones, and with the linking button we're going to make them sons of the point we just created. We select the bones, we move away. You see that you have this line that is moving with the mouse, and we're going to let it go just in the point we just created. Ding. Now both bone chains are sons of this point. So if I move this point, I'm going to go away with all the bone chains, or with all the chains bones. We go to the front view and let's see if it's in 0 axis. If the X axis is in 0 here, and it's totally true, we can zoom everything. We can hide this dummy that is here assigned the other character, the other chopper, sorry. And if you click, if you put the Z button again, this is gonna have a more zooming view. Well, let me explain you here what's the behavior I want for the rig. If we select all the chain and we move this use selection center, like I want to move it with the pivot as the rotation center, it will move all the objects with their own, well, it will orientate, it's going to make the orientation of all the objects with their own pivot center. Well, if we move this, let's go to the world view. In the world view, we're going to move them in the z-axis. If we rotate all these bones in the z-axis, you can see that they are moving like if you are doing, like you are moving yourself forward to pick something to the floor or something like that. And if we select the hip, you're going to do like special positions. If the doll has its legs a little bit lower, or he's like getting crunched, you can move the hips and the legs are going to move cyclically. If one is getting, I don't know how to explain it very well, but we can show you on internet. There is every solution. If we go to, oops, to grab this behavior of the hip, you can see that the hip is moved a little bit to your right, but the rest of the torso is straight. We can use the rig we are creating to have this behavior. We can see them better in, let's see if we have another one. Nope, we don't have another one. I was searching for a specific pose and I don't have it. But anyway, you will get soon the idea. With Control C we can put again the bone where it was, and we start to create the last chain. The last chain is going to be the CTLs. The CTLs, or controls as we call them, they are going to be shapes. We create a circle with the snap toggle. We are going to create like this, a circle here. We're going to use that one. With Alt A, we're going to align it to the bones, and we're going to align even the orientation of the axis. We're going to see that is nice. We still don't know if it's very good oriented, but we are gonna make it easier for the animator. So we click in the affect object only, and we will align it to the world. Excellent. If I show now the mesh, you're going to see that this CTL is almost, wow, it's very good. Well, just like that is already very good. Place it. Just place it very good. We're going just to move it a little bit up. Object only. We're going to move it a little bit more upstairs. Upstairs, like here. Excellent. we clicking the button to turn off the object, the effect object only, and with the right button and with the C or with clicking clone here, it's going to make another circle. We're going to make a copy, not an instance or not a reference, nor a reference. And we're going to align it to the next one. That is going to be this one. Excellent. We see that it's, again, move it, but don't worry, we affect up only and we align it to the word. And we move it a little bit much more up. This one is going to be like here. And later we have to do some adjustment to the shape, so it's gonna be more attractive for the animator. We can hide the mesh right now because we are not using it, or it's just disturbing right now. We clone it one more time, and we're going to align it to our last one here. We said cancel because I didn't clone it or copy it. Say OK, and now we align it to this last bone. We say OK. We select again effect object only. We move it a little bit upstairs, upward, or well, we put it up a little bit, and we align it here again to the word. We're gonna move it a little bit forward, just right there. We turn off this button, and we're going to Shift G to CIJ in the mesh. And if we look at it, we're gonna see that it's good. With the P button, we can go to the perspective view and see how, as you can see, if we go to the front view, we are going to see that that circle or shape is like inside of the mesh. Even this one is inside of the mesh. So here's where we start to create a better looking CTL. We have to create one more shape, sorry. Create one more, and we're gonna leave it to the end. This shape is going to be called the master CTL. We're gonna leave it here, and we're gonna leave it there, right, just right there. Yes. But now we select the pivot. We're going to select this button, affect pivot only. We hide the geometry, and we will align it to the point. To the point helper. We said OK, and we close it. Now, these two shapes are going to be linked to this shape, and our last shape, our last shape is going to be linked to the shape from the middle, this shape. Okay. All right. Now let's go on with the aspect of the CTLs. We have the upper CTL. We're going to select here, convert to spline, editable spline. we click the vertex button here, and we're going to select, we click W so we can move. We click the select and move move toggle. We zoom it a little bit so we can work better. We select even this. We select these two buttons, and we're gonna take them up. Here is enough. We zoom here with left view. I like it there. We go to the perspective view. We select the number 3, so we can we can select this point, this button. We select the whole spline. With the C button, we can zoom it, and we orbit again. It's perfect. I like it this way. The next one, this one, it doesn't have any problem. And this one, as you can see in the left view, we can see that we have to make it bigger in the x-axis only. So we're going to the hierarchy, affect object only, select the scale, and we're going to move it in this axis. It's big enough, and we like it. Now we're going to convert it to an table spline. We select the vertex, click these two buttons, with W we can select the move selection, and we're going to take them a little bit up. There they are. Now we have them, and they are very good looking. We hide the mesh again, and I'm going to select all these 3 controls, and I'm going to make them, I like that color, like this color. Yeah, it's almost the same. Let's go to AutoCAD palette, and we're going to select this one. Ding. Excellent. Now we select these bones. We are only making them, like we can say, good looking for our job. We select the point now, and we change it color too. Okay. I select these bones black because they are not skin bones. They are like the end of the chain. We're not going to use them. They are just for rigging. If the rig needs any adjustment, you can have them to do the job, to do the work done. Now we're going to the bone tools. You open the bone tools. We hide with Shift H the helpers, and with Shift S the shapes. We select all the bones we have here, and let's go to the end of the bone tools where you're going to say we pin adjustment. Okay, here reset stretch. We reset the stretch sometimes it will move and sometimes it won't. If you move the scale or the stretch factor, the bone is gonna be different and it's going to see different. It is not going to affect you at the moment you create a rig, but at the moment you have the skin or the orientation process is going to change, so you better be sure that the stretch factor is equal to 1. We want to hide all. We said no. Oh, we have this one that we're not going to use anymore. And we're going to see that everything is going to be visual except the mesh. And the thing that we can already delete this thing. So now it's time to put the names on it. We go to tools, we go to the rename object, we move this to a side, and the best name we're going to use, column. We select everything, we rename it. Now let's hide the helpers and the CTLs. All of this in prefix, they are bones. Bones. And we rename these two for me they are I add an N because there are no bones for the skinning. We search for the helper right here. We're going to change this as page. Here I'm going to call it pause because that helper is the column position. We rename it. We're going to select all the shapes now. These are going to be 1, 2, and 3. We'll click here to have the numbers. This won't do anything. This is going to be a shape. We click on it, and the same. Now we hide the prefix. Let's do the same for this. I'm going to add numbers so they don't have the same name. When you are working with scripts, it's going to be a problem later if you don't make sure that all the objects have different name. Think this one is going to be master because it's not, it will move all the whole upper part of the body. Oops. Master. We're going to put the name here, master, and we'll leave this as an S. And listo, rename. Excellent. Now, shapes. S is for shapes, B is for bones, and B is for bones that we are not going to use. H is for helpers, and G should be for geometry, but we are not going to put names to the geometry right now. All of these CTOs, objects, bones, and helpers are in the middle of the rig. So we're going to add another letter here that is going to be M of middle. Rename. If I hide the shapes, I will have all the objects that I will use in the rig. So this is rig. And we will name it. Oops, I believe that's something not well done. If you can see, I didn't mark the M because this was turned off. So let's see, Ctrl Z, Ctrl C again, Ctrl C, Ctrl C again, Ctrl C, Ctrl C again, and now we will select all of them. We hide this, we select M, we rename it. Now we have the shapes. We go here, we add rig, we rename it. Now we unhide the shapes. We select everything except, and we select all the shapes only, and we will change this name as cont. I use cont because I like to use 4 letters for that area. We rename it, and now we will select them all, and we're going to use our first part of the name. The C, it means that it's a character, and the name of the character, that in this case is Amanda. Another floor added, oops, another underscore adding, and that's it. We rename it, and we have it. With Shift G, you will see the mesh, and there you go, you'll have it. Oops, with the P, we see the perspective view. And well, let's hide again the mesh. Submit. You can see everything again, and with the perspective view we can see how it's good done. It's well done. And there you have it. This is the first part of the rig, the spinal cord. Well, see you next time for start creating the leg.